let me tell you today about Savo. Now, not Savo the way you know us. If you've seen our buildings, that's good. If you've lived in our apartments, that's good. If you've invested with us, that's good. But Savo is just not that. We are the bold who change the world. We have bold characters. We have bold Savorites who go beyond the measures of what is proven to be possible. And so you have seen the life of Savo. The last 8 years, we have shaken the world of real estate. We have gone into the market and just, made what seemed impossible possible. We have brought affordable investments here in Kenya. From as little as 30,000 a month, you can actually own an apartment within Nairobi. Who thought that could be possible? I mean, growing up, we all knew real estate ni ya wale wa juu. Sisi tunajenga ka home ownership. And so we have made that possible. We have shown you that lifestyle can be a different perspective, that you're just not letting into our apartments, but you're getting into a community where you will become something great. And of course, when we start this journey of being great and being bold who change the world, we want you to be part of it. As we celebrate these 8 years of existence, we want you to be part of it. We want you to shake the boundaries and actually make things greater by being bold, and be the bold who change the world. I am Martha Inyuma, and we are the bold who change the world.
Hello everyone, karibu sana. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We are live from one of our projects here in Tindigwa. It's called Savo Sunset. It is our 7th project. We are so happy to have you here with us today. My name is Sheila, a fire partner here at Savo, and I'm joined by my colleague who I'll give a chance to introduce himself and lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you, Sheila. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jonathan Owino, an investment consultant and a fire partner here at Savo. Sheila, thank you for the chance to join you here. Yes, so maybe we'll start off with a word of prayer to get the session. Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our dear and Heavenly Father, we come before your presence this afternoon, thanking you for allowing us to be present here at this moment. Thank you, Father, for all that you've enabled us to achieve as a company this far. And Father, for the many milestones that we are yet to cover, Father, we pray for your grace and that you may continue to shield us along the way. Father, we pray for all the investors watching us from wherever they are, to the many Savorites out there, whether on board as investors or our residents. We pray for your grace in their lives and that you may continue to bless them. For this session, that you may bless us, then that any information that will come from this sitting may be beneficial to all those watching us. We pray this shortly, trusting and believing in your holy name. Amen. Yes. So, yeah, Sheila, so just a quick one to maybe anyone who's watching us for the first time out there. This is Savo. You might have seen us as you were scrolling on your socials. We're very popular on Twitter and Facebook. So you might have seen us around, maybe on your Google ads or on YouTube, and you're wondering, what is this Savo? So yeah, Savo is a real estate investment firm. We build, sell, and manage apartments. But even before the apartments, we are called together by a singular purpose, which to mean that we exist to enable investors achieve financial independence through low risk, guaranteed return, affordable, amazing apartments. And yes, that's what I believe we've done. Like Sheila has mentioned, we are currently on site at one of our projects. This happens to be the 7th of the 19 projects we have currently in our pipeline. So yes, there's a lot going on. So maybe Sheila, I'll pass it on to you as you set the ground for what we'll be talking about today. We said it in the posters. If you were checking it out, we sent it out through email as we were calling you in, that maybe a salary is not enough. I don't know, Sheila, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. I think most of us, ideally, young people, I think most of us basically are currently employed. Few of us are business owners. But today we are here to talk about how having one income, one source of where we meet our daily needs is not really enough. Like, can a salary really be enough for one person to sustain you through your entire lifetime? Yeah. So as Jonathan said, we enable investors achieve financial independence through now our apartments. I think the goal of everyone everywhere is to get to a point where they want to just earn passively without necessarily having to go to work every day. And in regards to that, most of us think about what can I do to enable me at probably the age of 45, at 50. Like, I don't think anyone wants to be working at that age. So what can you do today that will help you at least secure your future for tomorrow? In regards to that, so I'm making a reference to a book. It's called The Parable of the Pipeline. So the book talks about how it is good to build a pipeline for your tomorrow. In this book, we have a story about two brothers, Pablo and Bruno. These two people, they're brothers, they're friends. They grow up in a village, and I think everyone, they both talk about how they want their future to look like. They're looking at being successful in future, but then they don't really know how to go about it. They're just having conversations about it, yeah? And then eventually an opportunity lands on their hands. They get, let's say, a job. They get to supply water to the town where they live in from a water body somewhere else. So this job entails mainly them carrying buckets from the, let's say, a river back to their village, the township, to just have water supply in the area. So this is really a hectic job if you look at it, because you're carrying water daily.
So it's
on a daily basis.
Hustle.
It's a hustle. So for you to go carry the first bucket of water, the second, the third, like how many buckets of water would you have carried really by the end of the day? As much as it looks lucrative at first, because you're paid a penny per bucket. So you can go as many rounds as you can. But what about tomorrow? And
how sustainable really does it become?
Yeah, how sustainable is it? So one of the friends, Bruno is really excited. At least he's getting a penny per bucket, so he can carry as many as he can, so that he can be able to meet his needs. He wants to buy a pair of shoes. He wants to build a house. But then Pablo sits after the first day. Pablo thinks, will I be able to carry this water daily? Like, I have blisters on my hands. This is happening. Like, will I do this for the rest of my life? So Pablo sits down and decides, you know what? There's a better way of doing this. I can make it better for me, because I can't be carrying this my entire life to earn that penny per bucket. Yeah. So he decides to come up with he sits down and thinks of a way he can just be earning while not putting that much work. But the friend Bruno is just adamant. He's just like, yeah, what are you talking about? We have money, we have a job. I'm becoming better than everyone else. So every day Bruno is living lavishly. He's buying things he wants. He's bragging in his township about how wealthy he is. Now everybody is just admiring him. But Pablo is seated somewhere thinking, I can't do this for this long. So he comes up with an idea of building a pipeline. So it's just something that will be able to bring water from the river back to the township with not much without that much hassle. Yeah. So he decides to sit down and build a pipeline. He shares this idea with Bruno. Bruno refuses to hear it, but then for him, he decides to just do it by himself. So he sits down, he stops, he doesn't brag, he doesn't live lavishly like the way Bruno does. He puts in a lot of work today to secure his tomorrow. Yeah, in the book he talks about how he does what he.
Okay, so so this had to be a very backward village, just to say the least, because I'm imagining relying on two people to have to go to, what's the nearest water body here? So having to go to that water body and fetching, one at a time, coming back, even for that one penny, seems like a lot. So what they do this for the entire day. You can imagine waking up early in the morning, and this being your hustle, you're ferrying buckets from that water body to the village, to and from, for the entire day. So what Pablo decided to do was that, in as much as he had this dream, he had this vision of one day him being able to earn while he's asleep. Yeah. In as much as he had this dream, he knew that it might not necessarily be practical to just abandon whatever he was doing at the time and just pursue that dream. And so he decides to be, he's very rational about it. He splits his time. Something in the book he talks about building a pipeline while still carrying buckets, because remember, the buckets that he's carrying are what sustain him. That's his source for
daily needs.
For his daily needs. And what he'd do, he'd give himself a quota for the day. He'd say, I need this amount to survive at the very least. So if I can cut the number of trips I'm making, once I reach my quota, then I'll be fine, right? And so what he does, he sets aside time. Once he reaches his quota, then he gets to building his pipeline. So picture this, you're building the pipeline from, and say it's like a couple of kilometers. So actually in the book, he says, it actually states that inch by inch, it becomes a cinch, meaning it becomes simple. So each and every day he comes and puts in the minimum amount of work that he can, right? So you can imagine that as time goes by, even the number of trips that he's making to the water body become lesser, because now he's already building the pipeline and water is already being channeled closer towards the village. So that was an interesting way of seeing this pipeline. Something that also stood out for me while going through this book, and I've tried to share it with some of my investors as well. I received some really nice responses as well. Is that what Pablo said during the onset? I think Pablo is just a visionary guy. So Pablo is talking about there has to be a better way. Right? That yes, you're working, and I think this is what we advocate for as Savo, that yes, you might have to work. By all means, you do have to work. And you should work hard, because if you're given an opportunity to make something of yourself, then we believe that you should ujitume, right? But you shouldn't work hard all your life.
No,
I mean,
that's
really,
not sustainable.
All your life.
There's a line that one of our colleagues keeps saying about when you're young, you have a lot of energy.
Right.
So that's the time to put in the work.
But that's the time to carry buckets.
That's the time to carry buckets. But you see, as the older you get, you can't keep carrying buckets. I mean, hata mwili nakata. So long story short, in 2 years time, finally Pablo was able to finish his pipeline, and water started streaming from the water body back to his village very nicely, and that meant no more carrying buckets. So what does this mean really for Bruno? Because for Bruno, he's been carrying buckets, hoping that this will last forever. But now Pablo came up with an idea of how he can stop carrying buckets, and now this is now working. So there's no need for buckets anymore. So now Bruno's salary was just cut short, just like that. So his salary no longer, he doesn't get his daily needs from carrying buckets anymore. So he started being sad, alone, depressed. He didn't have money anymore because he was being paid by a penny a bucket. You see. So what I really learned from this is a salary is not enough. You never know what will happen tomorrow to your income.
It's almost like an illusion. You know, that
you're okay today.
That you have this monthly salary that's coming in, and you know that's the trap, that you know that every end month
uko na kakitu
itakuwa. So regardless of what I do with this one, in as long as there's no warning letter in my email, you
uko sawa,
know
okay.
That you're fine. But there's something that the book, there's an instance that the book gives, and it's really interesting. Talks of a lady who She studied hard. She became a dentist. But as the years went by, unfortunately, she got arthritis.
Yeah.
She got arthritis in her hands.
Yeah.
And for me, that just changed the way I was looking at the entire topic, the entire book.
Yeah.
Because really, it doesn't really have to be something wrong that you did, you know.
Yeah.
And sadly, life is like that.
Yeah.
You fall prey to lifestyle diseases. Sometimes things that just don't work out.
Yeah.
Maybe there was no goodwill in the office. They worked you out. You know. And most of these things do happen.
Yeah.
So you might have been doing everything right. You went to school. You put in all the hard work.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not really. You need to fortify yourself.
Yeah.
You need to think long term, like Pablo. You need to ensure that come that day when you unfortunately come down with arthritis in your hands and you can no longer be a dentist. I'm imagining how painful that must have been for her.
Yeah.
But so that come that day, you have something else that's working for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've set up a nice kitty or a nice cushion, that's fine, but it might not be sustainable. You need something that generates
something to also avoid is okay. You know, if you ask somebody today, you tell somebody a salary is not enough. They'll tell you something like, may keep my savings, may save. But then things can also happen to that savings. You see, when you're depending on salary alone, it means you have to work to get that salary. So it's if you don't work, you won't get that salary. So it's not sufficient. Yeah. So what about your savings? Yeah, it's a good thing to save. You never know. But then, God forbid, maybe you get a medical emergency that uses up all your savings. We've seen it happen. Yeah. What next? So you had saved and it was all good. You were cushioned. Like, okay, so maybe not a medical emergency. Maybe you get laid off from work, and maybe how long will you pay your bills? How long will you still service your car or pay your mortgage and things like that? How long will it last you? So you need something tangible, like that will not be eroded, something that will not finish up easily, something that will be long term. Yeah. So that's where I think after reading all that, you get the idea of you need to like do something like an investment.
Yeah. And you know, something that I've noticed in just my relations with most of my investors, seeing where they're coming from with how they came into the investment space, you realize that actually Kenyans are not dumb.
Yeah.
It's not that people are out there not thinking about how to fortify their lives, how to fortify lives for their young ones.
Yeah.
It's just that, or rather what I would say is that not enough information and not enough channels to create this passive wealth.
Yeah.
Like we don't have enough channels out there.
Sure.
It's not enough people giving people options into creative passive wealth.
Yeah.
Which I think is where Savo comes in.
Yeah. Savo comes in where it's giving it's a path, it's a vessel towards you earning while you sleep, basically towards you still getting that passive cash flow without necessarily having to carry a bucket every day. Like Jonathan said, we are here to enable you attain your financial independence. And I think financial independence, now maybe you can define that for us.
Financial, when we talk about financial independence, ideally we are looking towards getting you as our investor, of course, to a point where you will no longer necessarily rely on active work to afford your lifestyle, to afford your wants, to afford your needs, to afford your desires. I think it's a trap that many of us find ourselves in. That your salary is coming in, but you do have needs. You have needs within the month. So do you cater for your needs? Do you make sacrifices for the long term? So with Savo, again, maybe you're there, you're at home, you're listening to these people, you're wondering what are they talking about. Just quickly run to our website at www.savo.ke. Get in touch with one of our first-rate fire partners like myself and Sheila here, and they'll be able to take you through, show you what options we have, show you what we have upcoming, show you what we've already delivered. get to hear some of the testimonies we have out there, and maybe see where that what that might do for you. Yeah. So Savo is offering you a channel. We are doing this at zero interest. We are doing this at zero deposit, just giving Kenyans an opportunity to get in on this home ownership thing. You know, for such a long time, I believe real estate has been made out to be this elitist thing
for the rich, for the people who can afford it.
You need to be in this income bracket to be able to afford real estate. I think Savo is demystifying most of those notions. You know?
Yeah, Savo is here. Like unlike what we believe in, that real estate is just for the rich. Savo is bringing you affordable investment apartments, but it's very, very affordable in terms of you don't have to do any down payment, like a huge lump sum. You don't have like to face high interest rates. Yeah, so we are giving you a channel towards your financial independence now through these affordable, amazing apartments with zero interest and zero deposit. I mean, how amazing! Like who thought you could, like a young person, basically aged between 20 to 30. The people, I think that is the range where most people depend on their salary. They don't even have an idea of, maybe I can invest, maybe I can get something. But if you think real estate, you're thinking, where will I find the huge deposit? So Savo is here for you. Savo is giving you a zero deposit payment plan. Yeah, so we are giving you a zero deposit payment plan whereby you can start investing literally. You can start owning an apartment in Nairobi from as low as 35,000 per month. Yeah. How affordable is that?
That's really affordable. I think maybe what I'd say, so the ideally is that you'll get in on maybe one of our payment plans. They can stretch as long as 5 years. Remember, at zero interest with the kind of inflation rates we are seeing today, but I'll not get into that. So the idea is that you'll buy into a unit and have it give you passive cash flows, ideally in the form of rent. And maybe you're seated there, you're wondering what's in it for them. I think just to bring it back to the book and something I liked from our visionary Pablo, once finally after Pablo got Bruno on board with his vision, remember for such a long time he was trying to pitch it to Bruno selflessly, that come let's build this pipeline and we won't have to worry about carrying buckets in the future. And so when he finally brought him on board, there's something he said to him as he was trying to get him to help him build the pipeline. So he told him that, Bruno, I could build this pipeline in a year.
Alone.
But
However,
that will not be the best use of my time. So Savo has found a stable model. Remember, at the core of it, Savo is to help you invest to get you to financial independence. So Savo has identified a channel, a stable channel. I'm talking about now the residential real estate. So Savo has found a suitable channel through which you can plow your funds and have it now work for you, and has decided to show it out to the rest of the world. So we are saying, yes, we've been carrying buckets for so long, but we found a way to build a pipeline. Come on board with us. Come, let's build this pipeline. We can do it alone. We can take a year to build this pipeline alone, but that will not necessarily be the best use of our time. And I think at the moment we boast of close to 3,600 investors. Over 2,000 residents just in and around Nairobi. So that's the kind of movement we're talking about when it comes to financial independence, that we're able to just come together and build this pipeline together.
And something to also remember. So we might think, I'm about to own an apartment with Savo, but is it really for you to live in? Remember, we are looking for a way where you don't depend on your salary. We are looking, we're giving you a means where, you can own an apartment. You can come live in your apartment, but then still go and carry buckets. So for this, it's affordable investment apartments. So this is a unit, this is an apartment where you're buying it so that it can give you passive cash flow. You might buy 1, 2, 3, really depends with what your financial independence number is. So depending with your financial independence number, You can get as many apartments as you can, and then maybe later in life, you are 40, you are 50, you are retired, you are done with working, is when now at least this rental income you're getting from these apartments is what is helping you earn while you're sleeping. So you are not basically working.
Yeah.
So because you already put in the work back when you started investing, you put in the work towards not working right now at maybe when you have planned to retire.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture myself as being an investor. I'm trying to picture myself and just the journey, because if you're an investor, you've had your fire partner talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
That it's a journey. It's not a purchase. You know. Most of the successes you'll realize in between, within the journey, with the money habits that you'll take on, the money habits that you'll drop, and the kind of mindset shifts and the paradigm shifts that you'll acquire within the journey. So I'm thinking of my journey. For me, a sweet spot would be where I have, say, like 5 units. If I'm taking like 5 studio units, that one gives me about 55K
per month
in passive cash flows.
Yeah.
I can do a lot with 50K.
You didn't work for like aggressively.
No, but it takes a lot of hard work. And I can feel it today personally. Maybe just to talk of my own experiences, I'm feeling it today. But just to remind myself that my dreams for tomorrow are founded on
what you're doing today,
on my sacrifices today. So what I'm able to spare today makes it easier for me as I make my second investment. And by the time the second comes in, it makes the third one even easier. And once my growth picks up, then I believe that's just it.
That's basically what everyone is thinking about and what Savo is offering you. And today we can't build one project and then tell you, okay, after you've bought this and it's already sold out, now that is it. We have a second, a third, a fourth. We currently have 19 projects. We have 8 completed projects that people are already earning from. Some are still paying for it. I mean, remember, we have a payment plan for it. So you can take the longest, you can take the shortest. It's really up to you and your financial capability. So today we are here to give you more good news. I mean, we are giving you more channels, more opportunities, just a medium of you to just invest and eventually secure your future. So today,
do we want to talk about it, or do we let
do you maybe you can give a hint of what we're here.
Maybe let's pass it on to Abom Charo. So we'll cut to a video of one of our directors as he just paints a picture of what to expect. Don't go anywhere.
Some pretty powerful names, because I think a name evokes something. So the name Savo also, I've always believed in the power of names. If you look at the names of our projects, they tend to have some pretty powerful names, because I think a name evokes something. So the name Savo also is a compounding of very many different things and meanings and notions that we want to portray. But for this particular discussion, the name Savo City was not accidental. It was very, very deliberate, because from the very beginning, the plan was to build cities. The plan was not only to influence cities in where we build, but to actually build complete cities. And we knew from the beginning that we will not get there day one. And we actually still very far from there. We knew that we would start with small apartments. If you look at Laser Place and 90 Degrees, and to some extent even Savo Studios, those are small apartments, 60 units, 100 units, 250 units. That's where we began. And then we had the boldness to move into bigger apartments, where now we're doing 400, 600, 900 in the case of Divine. So we've been playing in sort of that league. But we've always known that the way to build a city is to start with the small, then do a few large, and begin to put them together. So that's happening in very interesting ways, and I'll give 2-3 examples. Let's use Embakasi for instance, where 90 Degrees is, and Savo Studios and Feather. They're all in one vicinity, but people know unaenda Savo, oh Savo ndio hii, Savo ndio hii, Savo ndio hii, and they're all called Savo, but each of them gets its own unique identity, and people begin to realize them. So we have 3 in Embakasi. If you come to Thindigwa also, we have 3. We have Coral Bells, we have Sunset, and Sunset 2 coming up. So the bringing together of these various blocks into one neighborhood begins to sort of tell a story. It sort of defines the street where we are. But these are different properties. So between buildings, we find other developments are there. Now, Royal Suburbs is very interesting. Royal Suburbs is interesting because we are doing several blocks within one property. You know, we are each other's neighbors. It is the one place, I think, that we have. It is the only place we have where the neighbor of Savo is Savo. You know, we have Royal Suburbs 1, Royal Suburbs 2, 3, 4, you know, that kind of thing. And I think I'll share a little about this land. It belonged to a man whose story I think is worth telling, and a man whose life is worth emulating. This is a man who, with his wife, were able to acquire land, and they thought beyond themselves. So in his lifetime, he subdivided it, he wrote a will, he made sure that each child has their portion, and it was very, very clear. And these people, fortunately, happen to be my friends. One of my best friends is actually married into that home. And in 2018, I think 2018, just about a year, slightly over a year after we started our first, either end of 2017 or 2018, as we were finishing Laser Place, and we had just started this one, Coral Bells. 2 of the brothers came. They came to Rongai, and we had a chat. And they said, no, we want to work with you. And we went to Roysambu, and I looked at the land, and it was scary. Man, 5 acres. Man, I've just started. Coral Bells was already a Herculean task. We had to do Coral Bells in 4 phases. Block A, Block B, Block C, Block D. Each of those was a single phase. So we treated each of those as a project on 3/4 of an acre. And here comes people who are bringing to me 5 acres. It was a very scary proposition. I must say it was scary for me, but it was also scary for them because we are new. We had not done anything of that scale before. But somehow they were courageous enough. Interestingly, I don't know if it's by design or by default, they started with the last born. So with the last born, we did Royal 1. Then the second last born, we did Royal 2. And then we were to do the third last borns. I mean, the person will start from last, but then his was Royal 3, because Royal 4, because that's where the land was. So we did the sisters at Royal 3 first, and then we came to Royal 4. But as we were doing that, the older siblings were taking notice. And especially when the youngest sibling began to get red, they're like, hiya, this thing actually works. So then, the older brothers and sisters came and said, no, we want to do this thing. So it's interesting because in Royal Suburbs, and by the way, that is the original name of Roysambu. So there's this thing called Shidaya Matamuchi is what changed Royal Suburbs to Roysambu. So we are hopefully taking it back to its former glory. So the interesting thing about Royal Suburbs is we'll do all these buildings together in one neighborhood. Now, if you look at Google Maps, Roysambu is actually a very small area. It's very, very, very small. Yeah. And then we have carved out this little niche within this concrete jungle. We have carved out this little thing where we are creating this mini city. It's a Savo city. We are on our way. For us, seeing how we moved from Laser Place to how we came here, and when you're doing this, it looked like a little city within, a little city in Thindigwa. And now we are doing something which will have about 4,000, 5,000 units. That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. And gives us great joy. And we've done 1 fully sold, fully let, 2 fully sold, almost done. I think we should be done in about 5-6 months. 3 and 4, they are going on very well. I think we are beyond 10th floor. So within a year, maybe 12, 13, 15 months will be done. So that has gone on very, very well. And now I'm so happy to introduce Royal 5 and Royal 6. And we are doing them together. We are releasing Royal 5 and 6 together. There are two buildings on two separate titles, but they'll be built as one. They'll be built as one, they'll function as one. Legally, there'll be two different buildings, but visually and functionally, they'll all work as one. And that's exciting. For us, it's exciting. Why? Because we were not sure. We began Royal 1 to 4 at the back of the property. Royal 5 and 6 is the first one coming to the front of the property, now bordering the main road. So it will be the one imposing structure in that area. The other Royal 1 to 4 really focused only on residential. We are thinking residential, but this one will have, significant commercial space. Because now, with Royal Suburbs, we are going beyond the apartment. Let's go to Roysambu. Roysambu, you have a very large population of these, what we call them, young aspirational urbanites. Guys who went to college in all these universities along Thika Road, from USIU to KCA to JQuad to KU, all these universities and colleges around Thika Road. That is the place they call home. They know where the barber is, they know where the butcher is, they know where the pub is, they know all these things. And now we are taking the cream de la cream of Roysambu and sort of capturing them in one place. Something else to note, when we built in Thindigwa or in Embakasi, all these areas, we had to bring in a population that was not there before. So Thindigwa, for instance, was a 2 and 3 bedroom area. Embakasi has very good working areas. All these companies around the airport and Coca-Cola and KQ and what have you. But these guys lived in South B and in other places. And now we have brought them there. But Roysambu is the only place we went and found our clientele there. It's already been primed, it's already waiting. So we sort of want to take the creme de la creme of Roysambu and put them in Savo City. So for the first time, we are now thinking beyond the apartment. When we are doing our considerations, we just don't think about the apartment. So this is an interesting area because within it, we now have this commercial space. It will have a mini mall of sorts with food courts and shopping and a supermarket, a proper supermarket now. We will have the rooftop. The rooftops will now sort of complement each other. You have one rooftop with these beautiful cascading gardens. You have another rooftop with a community center, a big community center that serves as a church. You have another rooftop that has sports, pool and table tennis and what have you. Then you have Royal 5 and 6, which has a swimming pool, a huge swimming pool. I think the biggest swimming pool that you've done so far. So we are now making this thing work in concert. We are taking the areas now, the green spaces. We are now, because since we are commanding the infrastructure within, we are creating the green spaces, make sure that people are able to walk around and feel the life of a city in miniature. So we have taken this whole, Roysambu itself is a microcosm of a city. Then within that microcosm, we create a smaller, upmarket area within Roysambu. So that for us is extremely exciting. So other things that we have to think about when we are developing this city, and for us, I think it will be a place of a lot of knowledge, moving from architecture more to urban planning and urban issues of thinking urban issues. We are thinking health. You have 4,000 units. That means you'll easily have about 5,000 residents in one area. How are they taken care of in terms of health? So we'll provide space for so one of these upcoming hospitals. They can come and set up something there. That's physical health. You're thinking mental health. Again, this the demographic that we go for. I think I've talked about them. They are very exhibitor. They are aspirational. That means their mental demands are more, and they're not always equipped to handle them themselves. And maybe they're young, so they shouldn't. So we are creating spaces for that kind of thing. How do you take care of their mental health? How do you take care of of their green spaces, and how do they socialize? How do you take care of security? Because you have this place you want, when I enter, I want to feel free in this environment. I don't want to be boxed, because now everything, because of urbanity and population and security issues, we box people in these apartments. So how do I, if I've come in, I've taken a room, I'm in my little space, but I can get out of my room and go into the public space within the building, but I can also get out of my building and go into the larger public space within the neighborhood. So we are thinking about such things. We are thinking about security, and security here maybe will now be beyond the watchman, beyond the security company. We are thinking of how do we partner with police? Is it a police station, a police post, or is it just bringing a cop? The banks do them, and they have. I think they have a special unit within the police force, so that when someone comes in, they know here this security is a big deal. So we want to sort of harness all these things, and bringing all these people together. There are of course infrastructural issues. There's the road that leads to that area, but fortunately we are now talking to the city people within the Roysambu area. Can we make that road? So hopefully by the time we finish building Royal 5 and 6, we'll have the necessary permits to cabro the road that links Shell petrol station near the roundabout to Royal Suburbs, so that one doesn't have to go around Lumumba Drive. Lumumba Drive is good, it's good, but we have a shorter route. So there we are in discussions. For those of you who pray for us that we get, actually, because it's strange, because it's a public service which we should get as a right, but we will have to seek the necessary permits for us to pay for that. So anyway, it's something that we are discussing about. We have concerns about water. So there's only a number of boreholes we can do within that area. Fortunately, there's an underground river that passes by, which at the beginning looked like a nuisance, because every time we are building, we have to sort of fight with it and what have you. But now we have found ways of tapping that water, which we shall now use for public area cleaning and landscaping and all these things, to be able to capture all that water. And that water is a lot. It comes from a swamp near Windsor, near the Windsor roundabout. There's a big swamp there in Ridgeways. So I think that water is what appears through our property. So we want to use that. We're working with our engineers to be able to do that. Sewer, we were very fortunate that just as we began doing Royal 1, the sewer system in that area was upgraded. So that's a big deal for us, because without a functional sewer, the place will not work. So we are thinking of all this infrastructure. We are thinking of the human infrastructure, the health of our people, the security of our people. We are thinking about these people interacting and coming together. We are thinking of them not only working or shopping, not only living and shopping, but also thinking about working. So we are creating a fairly large co-working space, where, because we realize that in our apartments, a lot of these young people work from home. So are we able to create our co-working space? Can we partner with people who are doing proper co-working spaces to create a vibrant society? We want to try, hopefully from Royal Suburbs, are we able to create like an innovation hub to begin to raise these people and nurture talent in music, in production, in technology, in business, in all manner of things, in marketing? Can we bring the energy that we have in the office? Because the guys who work for us here at the office are the same people who live in our apartments. Can we bring the level of energy and creativity that we are seeing at Savo and sort of explode that to our community of residents? So I look at the possibilities of Royal Suburbs, and it's exciting. For us, it's more than a building. It's more than a building. It's these lives. It is these young people that we are going to touch. And when we do that right, if we consider the infrastructure properly, if we build well, and we intend to build well and build better than even what you're doing before, that what we're doing now, if these plans that we have for technology, building technology, succeed, and we think they are, because there's something we are doing about enhancing our building technology. I think something I'll share in the near future. If we keep these residents in mind and take care of their physical, psychological, financial, spiritual, all these needs, then you can be guaranteed that your investment is safe. Because your investment is dependent on the infrastructure that is around us. It is dependent on the structure and the technology of that building and the workmanship. It's dependent on the feelings of the people who are going to live there. So there's this whole material, physical, metaphysical, spirit. There's such a wide array of things you have to consider to make sure that your investment is safe today and tomorrow. Because the longevity of the building has to be guaranteed. The longevity of the people staying there has to be guaranteed. The longevity of the feeling that we are trying to create for these young guys has to be guaranteed. And those are the things that make us fight, make us work hard, and those are the things that excite us. And so when I talk like this with so much energy, just know that this is the closest to a city that we have. Hopefully later on we'll be building this, boom, at a go. But it's taken us many years, from 2018 until now, and by the time we are done with the final phase 8 or phase 9, it will be maybe another 3 years from today. So it'll have taken us, a good 7, 8, 9 years to build this one. So it's very, very exciting. So I hope you'll join us. We have always had wonderful, wonderful reception to our projects. I mean, this year alone, I think Savo Stanley took a month and a half, but that was a small one. Savo Rising, 300 units, took about 6-7 weeks. By the time we got to Divine, which was a big project of 900 units, it went within, I think, 2.5 months. And Premier sold out over 40%, I think 42% in the first week. And we launched it barely a month ago, and it is now sold out. So we are really hoping that this one will also have similar reception. For those of you who have not been to Royal Suburbs, please go and see these huge things rising up in the air, with gardens up in the air. And we intend to make Royal 5 and 6 even better than the first 4. Not that the first 4 are not good. The first 4 are absolutely fantastic. But we intend to make Royal 5 and 6 even better. So exciting times ahead. And we hope to see you there. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Owning your first apartment in Nairobi has never been easier. It's simple. With 0 deposit and 0% interest rate, you can pay as little as 30,000 per month for up to 5 years. Just divide the price by the number of months you want to pay. Visit www.savo.ke to learn more.
Well, there you have it. I don't know. Is there anything else I can possibly add there? I mean, you've seen it. You've seen the vision from, we say straight from the horse's mouth. Yeah. So you've seen the vision as it is. What we are trying to do in Roysambo, I think, is a beautiful thing. Remember, Savo, this is the home of the bold who changed the world. And that's something we're trying to do.
You're bold.
Yes, we are. We are bold. With what we are doing on Lumumba Drive, I think just as Abo puts it, the kind of vision that's there once the buildings are done, I think that that is where most of the work is. And me just thinking about what it could be, just seated next to the highway, next to TRM, with a road of itself, hopefully. And just with that kind of community, I mean, just having interacted with some of the Savorites that we host in most of our apartments, and they're very creative people, very smart people, very intelligent people, and just being able to pull all that and bring it onto one platform and, bring it into one place and create a city. That for me, so I'm really excited for it. I for sure want to be a part of it, just to be able to see how far we can take this. I'm hoping we can do some crazy stuff for Kenyans in Roysambo.
Yeah, there you have it. We are building a city. Our vision is to have a city in Roysambo. Our projects, the Royal Suburbs, we have 4 phases that are currently ongoing, and today we are launching the 5th one. So if you're wondering where where Royal Suburbs is, it's just behind TRM. TRM is the Thika Road Mall on Lumumba Drive. It's just like a less than 10-minute walk to the highway. This is Thika Super Highway. Yeah, and we're building a city just behind it. Like that's amazing. Yeah, and I don't know if you feel the excitement like I do. Me, I for sure want to be part of it. Like, you don't want to miss a chance to be part of building this city. Yeah, and I know most of you, it's not just a city, it's your financial independence here, it's your passive income in future here. Yeah, so it's really a good thing.
And also I think we have a lot of facts backing us. That particular area, Roysambu, even in terms of its population density, is able to fulfill the needs of that project.
Yeah.
So really, I'm just excited. I think if we can just maneuver around the amenities, around the providing water and all those, if we can just hack that, which I believe we're well on track to, then I think we have ourselves a pretty solid project. I'm thinking of all the universities that we have around Lumumba Drive, on Thika Road. Just within Lumumba Drive itself. You know.
And you're probably wondering, why are we talking about universities? Yeah, as I said earlier, it's an investment apartment for you. So for us, we are housing young, audacious urbanites. These are mainly young people. So along Thika Road, you'll see we have Kenyatta University, we have USIU, we have KCA, we have Park University. Like Roysambu itself houses a lot of young people. So these are the people we are looking to house. So if you are familiar with that area, you know for sure there's need for this kind of development in that area. And we are here for it. So maybe I could quickly just shout out 1, 2, 3 people who've joined us on the live today. I can see Evans Musomi. Thank you so much for joining us, Evans. Evans is one of our investors. We have Muikali Kisila. Thank you for joining. We have Brenda Kinuthia, Maureen Chelagat. I can see a lot of Savorites in here. I'm seeing Edward Karuga. I'm seeing Perez. I'm seeing Moas. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. I'm seeing King George's. I'm seeing Sarah Njuguna, Ezekiel Githinji. I'm seeing Peter Mungara shouting out his fire partner called Maura. So there's a question from Ezekiel Githinji. He's asking, sorry, I'm joining a bit late. When is the project being launched? Today. Right now. Right now is where we are launching this project right now. This is the launch. After this, of course, disturb your fire partners. Everyone has a fire partner if you're an investor. If you're not, you can, as Jonathan highlighted earlier, just go to www.savo.ke, fill in the link that is there, and you'll be connected to someone who'll talk to you. That person is your fire partner. That person will help you start your investment journey with us. And maybe you could shed a bit more light on Royal Suburbs Phase 5, maybe the prices, how it looks like.
So it's like we've mentioned, it's a mini city. We are doing it. There's a bigger vision to it. What we are capping it at now is at Royal 5 and 6. Ideally 2. To their sides, trying to get in, and I believe coming up sometime with the structure and just working on the finishes. To that. How we are about to do Royal, just to say the very least, in Roysambu. So it will host a number. One bow. The levels will be looking to.
Aware of projects. No. So we are selling our plan to, of course, do your due diligence here. That site, go check. Right here, Jonathan saying something about if you are from where you are resident and probably planning on living in one of our apartments, so do your due. Just tell them. I believe that will cover, include, will also right. Yeah. It's fine.
Yes. With come before you put it feel like
Already know about this project. For those who are waiting for this particular project, reach out to your fire partners, let them help, be a part of this. Now, good day. They'll help you through the process. People are share
just is going we've got what you'd like to see on our projects, and I feel like we've answered most of the questions today.
Yeah.
So we'll be having a number of 2 bedrooms going at
studios. Just we have studios, we have 1 bedrooms, we have 2 bedrooms, we have all this in that space. Our ranges are normal between 2 million to about 5 million, so you can never miss anything. Again, remember our payment plan, it's 0 deposit, it's 0 interest, so there's something for everyone. Yeah.
Maybe as well, if you're out there and you're thinking that even this minimum deposit, this 0 deposit, is still a bit out of reach for me, we do have an initiative. We call it Savo Saves. Sort of like a suspense account where you're able to just park whatever amounts you're able to save. Remember, a huge success for us is also in the money habits that you take up and drop. So if you're able to do your savings with us, then well and good as well. So you could save up pole as you get ready to maybe join in on the official investment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
I'm so happy. This has been nice. This has been nice.
Yeah.
I'm really happy we got to do this.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking your time to hear about us, about this new project. I can't wait to start seeing my phone beeping and you guys calling. Yeah. It will be such an honor to have you on board. Yeah. That's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, my name is Sheila.
And I'm Jonathan Owino. Till we meet again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Owning your first apartment in Nairobi has never been easier. It's simple. With zero deposit and 0% interest rate, you can pay as little as 30,000 per month for up to 5 years. Just divide the price by the number of months you want to pay. Visit www.savo.ke to learn more.